Today is Sunday, tomorrow is Monday. That is normally how it works, and normally we are here on Sunday talking about what is going to happen in the upcoming week with AMC. So that's exactly what we're going over in this video. All of the short squeeze data that you guys need to know, or text data, stock tracker data, some technical analysis, as well as some of the 13F filings that we should be paying attention to, and what is likely to come out as far as Citadel's 13F filing coming this week more than likely. As well as that, I want to clear the air on potentially seeing hedge fund liquidation starting this week. November 15th has been a very hyped up day, but you should really be excited for the next 45 days, or aka the rest of this year, because it's not just pertaining to Monday, November 15th, like you guys have seen in other videos, but throughout the rest of the year. So that in a nutshell is what we're going to talk about in this video. If you guys get value out of it, hit that like button for me, consider subscribing to the channel, as well as sharing this video with other people. I really want to clear the air, like I said, on the November 15th day, because I've seen a lot of videos, and we're not going to call out any channels here, but essentially I've been saying this is going to be the day. Hedge funds are getting liquidated potentially on this day, and that's not exactly the case. So let's get into this video. Now, on Friday, we did see a very strong day overall. A lot of back and forth action, but still did close up 1.37% in the after hours, which is even more important to me. If you're looking at that continuation, we were up 0.33%. So typically we do see very green days on Monday, and considering the move we've seen on Friday and after hours, that is likely to continue. As well as this November 15th, hyped up date does have some merit to it, but it's not the biggest deal in the grand scope of things. And that's what we're going to talk about right now. So this is basically saying November 15th isn't a hard and fast deadline, but traditionally 45 days to the end of the year has been the time when investors have had to give hedge funds the bad news. And we are talking about redemptions here. So typically starting on November 15th throughout the last 45 days of the year, hedge funds are notified on how many redemptions they will have to see, or just how much they will have to sell in their overall portfolios to give back to investors that no longer want to be invested with that hedge fund. And that's basically the grand scope of things, but it's not a hard and fast deadline. And it does say the money won't come out until the end of the year. But managers of the hedge funds need to know how much of their stock and bond portfolio they need to liquidate ahead of time because of these redemptions. So odds are they have a pretty good idea right now. And by them, I mean hedge funds and institutions. But they will not actually liquidate all of their positions on November 15th. And we'll talk about how that plays into AMC going up in price. But it's really going to be spread out throughout the rest of the year. And where AMC comes into this, and specifically videos I've seen about Citadel, is because Citadel has had a short position on AMC, as we do know, for a very long time. They're substantially underwater on this short position. And when it comes down to it, Citadel has done great as a hedge fund over the past year. Returned about 18%, arguably probably, some kind of bad behavior going on there, but we're not going to get into that. Nobody wants to get sued here. But what it comes down to is the fact of investors that are invested in Citadel likely will see a stronger urge to redeem some of their money back out of the stock, or just sell some of their shares of Citadel, because they don't want to be involved with this whole situation that's going on with payment for order flow, with apes, with the news, right? If a hedge fund has to come out and defend itself over and over again and be accused of all these things, you probably don't want to be invested in them as much going into the future. And how that plays into AMC, as we do know, they have a very large short position, and for tax purposes it only makes sense to cover, or just sell out, or in this case cover on your losing positions, to write that money off in taxes by the end of the year. That is called tax loss harvesting. You can do that, I can do that, everybody can do that. There's different limitations on how much income you make and how much you can actually do this, but generally speaking, it's better to sell out, or in this case, like I said, cover on your positions, and to realize that loss, to write it off on taxes, instead of realizing short-term capital gains, which can be in between 30 and 50% in taxes you have to pay when selling a green position, a position that is actually made money. So that's where it comes down to this whole November 15th situation. It's not to say November 15th is going to be the day that hedge funds are liquidated. We're going to see a bunch of bankruptcies. That's not the case. It's saying the last 45 days of the year are typically, we're going to see some form of liquidations, likely every single day. A small portion of those liquidations are going to go towards covering AMC short positions. But we do know there's always going to be another hedge fund that comes in and shorts AMC after one hedge fund covers. At least that's what we've seen throughout 2021. The hedge funds just don't lay off. And that's what we're going to move into now, is going to be the Ortex data. And forget the estimates. I am really just over these estimates. We're only getting 16.65% short interest of free flow estimates, and we're only looking at 85.25 million shares that are currently estimated sold short. But on the settlement date, October 29th, and we have come down quite substantially since then, we had about 95 million shares that were confirmed sold short, and 18.5% of the free float, which was confirmed sold short. So I do think the short interest numbers are likely 18.5 to even 19.5%. The estimates are just really wonky and they are off. So I don't even really want to, acknowledge these as much in future videos because they're so off. I don't know if Ortex is sleeping or what they are doing, but anyways, days to cover is at 2.66, and this is critically important when we are talking about hedge funds liquidating or just covering on their AMC short positions, as well as if we do get any reason for more people to buy AMC stock. It's gonna be hard for shorts to cover on their short positions, and days to cover essentially means if all 95 million shares wanted to be covered, it would take 2.66 days to do so. And the argument from analysts talking about how AMC couldn't short squeeze being that the days to cover was so low, now that is not even an argument, and you're not even hearing about the AMC short squeeze because of this. There's actually short squeeze characteristics that are in play at the current moment with this days to cover that is shooting through the roof. Shorts have not covered, and the short interest has remained at almost all-time high levels over the past couple of months. Now, moving on from that, the share utilization is at about 85%. Nothing too crazy there. Free flow out on loan is at 18.75%. Now, all of this incredibly bullish, specifically the days to cover. Now, let's move on to the stock tracker data and then the 13F filing. And then at the end of this video, we'll go over a price prediction, what I think and what I expect AMC to do throughout the rest of this week. So the stock tracker data, we are looking at the chance of a small to medium sized gamma squeeze, about 190,000 calls that are out of the money, 29,000 calls that are currently in the money. So if we do see a move to the upside, you will see market makers having to go out and buy shares on the open market. That could obviously just, how gamma squeeze works, push the stock up even higher, causing more contracts to go in the money, and that will ultimately push the stock up even higher. Not something I would hold my breath on, but definitely by December 17th, we're going to be looking at a very strong chance of seeing a big move to the upside or just a gamma squeeze in general. And then January 21st, 2022 is really going to be the biggest expiration that we have likely ever seen. We're already looking at almost 163,000 calls that are in the money, almost 235,000 calls that are out of the money. This is about 400,000 just contracts that are being held on this January 21st, 2022 expiration date at the current moment. So that's going to be the most important one. After, obviously, this week is the monthly expiration date for November, and then December, and then obviously January. So we still do have a little bit ways to go before then, but that's going to be here January 2022 before you even know it. Now, as far as the 13F filings, we did get the Vanguard filing, the BlackRock filing, and the Renaissance Technology filing. The three that I have really been watching for, but also I want to see Citadel's 13F filing is likely to come out this week. We have not got this, which was pretty surprising in my personal opinion. You got a lot of filings that did come out on Friday, but Citadel was not one of them. Kind of makes you think they're trying to finalize their books and get their ducks in a row, but nevertheless, we should get that coming out, and that should cause some enthusiasm around AMC, specifically if they have even doubled down on their short positions. That would not surprise me after all of the backlash that they have got over the past couple of months, specifically in this last quarter, them even having to come out multiple times and defend themselves. They may just want to, get their message out there that they are bearish on the stock. They maybe they're taking it personally. Who knows? We'll see with the 13F filing. Maybe they're shorting the stock. Maybe they covered. Who knows? Does not seem likely at the current moment, but that could be a more FOMO catalyst to send AMC a little bit higher. Now, that's basically all you guys need to know. Incredibly bullish. We're seeing record numbers of money flowing into AMC compared to money that is flowing out. Last we knew, $570 million worth of AMC was bought in the last quarter, and only $2 million worth was sold. These are ratios you don't even see with Tesla, Microsoft, Amazon, Google. These are unprecedented numbers. So obviously, hedge funds, institutions, goes without saying, are incredibly bullish on AMC. Now, as far as my price prediction for this week, it's very important to know that we did have earnings on Monday, right? In after hours. That's no secret. We all were there. I'm sure you guys listened to the earnings call, but we did have 4 days after that to basically set the trend on where we are going to go. 2 days were very red, 2 days were green. So it's really up in the air, but we are seeing the same formation playing out from the August earnings when we did go from about $28 all the way up to $53. That was almost a return of about 100% in the following about month or so, a month and a couple of days where we did hit that peak at $53. So I think throughout the rest of this week, this will confirm the bullish trajectory. And if we can get to about $45 per share, we're looking incredibly bullish to go even much higher, because that's what happened with the last earnings. Make sure you guys are following me with this. We went from $28 all the way up to about $37 heading into earnings, and then back down to $28, and then by the next week we were back up to about $38 per share, and we did start this earnings at about $45 per share. So if we can make that move back up to 45, we're going to be setting up the same exact way we did with the last earnings, and then obviously would expect a small pullback like we've seen, and then eventually to see that big volume come into the stock and a big pop overall. But there was a lot of good news to go over on the earnings report, and it's probably going to take a little bit of time to digest all of this news to really figure out where AMC should be priced at, to see if shorts cover all of that good stuff. So my price prediction, about $45 by the end of this week, would not surprise me whatsoever. And that's kind of what I'm expecting. Always do your own due diligence, verify everything that is said in any YouTube video. We are not financial advisors, at least I am not, and I'm not a financial planner, so I'm not going to tell you guys what to do, what to buy, what to sell, when to buy, when to sell. That is up to you guys, but I am not selling until these shorts have covered. So drop that like on the video, consider subscribing to the channel, all that good stuff. Consider sharing this video as well. If you guys have not checked out the links and signed up for Public, Webull, and Moomoo, definitely check that out. Get totally free stocks with zero commission trading brokerages down there. Also help support the channel. And if you guys want to get access to all my trades in real time, the link for the buy and sell alerts is your way to do that. We have been knocking it out of the park every single week consecutively. You to make enough in just the last 2 months to cover that cost for years and years. So check that out if you guys want to be notified every time I make a trade in real time with stock options and or crypto, whether it's a day trade, swing trade, or long-term investment. That is going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. You're ready for tomorrow, but I will see you in the next one.